Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, kings and queens of the land. Good afternoon, the royals. I want to send my greetings, my special greetings to all the liberated zones of Africa. I want to start by the French colonies, armies which have liberated our people in the Sahel region. Let me give respect to President Captain Ibrahim Traore in the Sahel for liberating our people. Let me give salute to General President uh, Abdurrahman Tian of Niger for using the guns and liberating our people. Let me give salute to Asim Goita, the president of Mali, who liberated the Malian people from the colonial French. Salute to all those who have used the barrel of the gun to liberate the people of Africa, the black people of the Sahel. Salute to President Zuma, KZN, the MK party for liberating KwaZulu-Natal. This is the only part of the British colonies which has been liberated. This is the only part which has been liberated. Salute to President uh, Zuma for liberating KZN and the MK party for leading KZN liberation from the British colonies. My name is Mngoni Mkonto, and this is the Royal Opinion. Thank you very much for joining. Click the like button and subscribe if you are coming here for the first time. Today we're talking about the issue which has been making news about Floyd Shivambu suspending some members of the legislation of the KZN from the MK party for some irregularities. Two of the members come from the Zuma family. One is the chief whip of the MK party in the KZN legislature, has been suspended by Floyd Shivambu. Some other people, they were reporting the propaganda and news that Floyd Shivambu has been suspended. I saw another fanatic, another, I would say, EFF fanatic, a video there. Another guy who was talking about what is shocking about what I'm sharing. I want to share here is this guy was talking about going on talking about Floyd Shivambu being suspended at the MK party and the ramifications of Floyd Shivambu's suspension in the MK party. Reporting lies, what is said about it is thousands of people have viewed the video and hundreds of people have commented and thousands of people have liked the comments which are generated from lies. Like comments generated from lies clear lies everybody does not know, but everybody is comfortable to just comment about the lies. I just can't find the video because I wanted to share the video of that fanatic who was talking about the suspension of Floyd Shivambu. It turns out that Floyd Shivambu has suspended some members of the KZN legislature for some wrongdoings in the organization. This is the reason I don't like talking about what um, the MK party administration is doing in the MK party. When your mother is cooking, you cannot go and check whether she's put salt or whether she's put a particular spice that guest may not like or that you may not like. You trust her cooking. You wait until she finish cooking and then she present the food to you. And then when she present the food to you, then you can judge whether the food was nice or not nice. If that makes sense, if that aphorism or that kind of example makes sense. My point being, when you are cooking, there's no need for anybody to come and check the people who are waiting for the food. There's no need for the people who are waiting for the food to now and then come and check what you are cooking in the kitchen. Now and then come and report that she's now putting a turmeric spice. She's now putting the Himalayan salt instead of the white salt. She's putting the pink salt. Coming out to report that, have you seen? She's putting in the pink salt instead of the white salt. The food is going to turn very, very bad. I'm telling you, this food will not never. What is the use of that? I know Floyd Shivambu and President Zuma is cooking something. When they are finished cooking, they are going to present the food to us as the people who are going to consume the food. We trust them as cookers. We trust Floyd Shivambu as a great politician who knows how to build an organization from start. We trust President Zuma for running the MK party with highest intelligence and highest honor, highest integrity. We trust him for doing that. We cannot now and then go and check what these people are doing and then make noise about it as if we don't trust what they're doing. As if we don't believe what they're doing. I'm trying to get away from the sun. Perfect, I think. Yeah, I'm perfect. King Victor Shongwa saying greeting. Royalty, thank you very much for joining. We're talking about the issue of the people. We're talking about the issue of the people who were suspended in the MK part by the Secretary General of the MK party. a lot of people, a lot of fanatics who came out and reported issues that they don't know, talking about that Floyd Shivambu has been suspended. This I did not want to talk about because I don't like peddling lies or talking lies about people. Well, that's true. It's expected. So usually I don't prefer talking about this topic. But okay, before we go deeper into the issue about the people who have been suspended in the MK party, or about uh, uh, yeah, before we get deeper about those issues, I wanted to discuss the issue which is happening in. Yesterday, I mentioned that there has been some fake withdrawal from the French armies. French armies. There has there has been some stage withdrawal. I wanted to talk about why do France stages withdrawal in Senegal. Why do France stages withdrawal in Chad and also in Ivory Coast? The places in which uh, the withdrawal of French armies is genuine is Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Those are genuine places where the withdrawal is genuine. Let's talk about Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is led by President uh, uh, Alison Ouattara. President Ouattara is a European puppet. President Ouattara is a European puppet. Um, he's been educated. He's got some even has degrees. He even has degrees from the University of Pennsylvania in America. He's been educated by the colonial master. So you know when I need to fix something. Right. Okay. Got some instability. Bunjani. Trying to run away from the sun. So President Ouattara of Ivory Coast is a puppet of French armies, is the puppet of the West, is the puppet of the Imperial America. President Ouattara has been groomed by the IMF. He has been an economist in the IMF, because here in the royal opinion, how we analyze things, we follow logic, and because out of history, we follow logic and make our determination what will happen. If you know the history, you probably know what's going to happen. If you see, because normally history is repeating itself every time. If you know what happened in the history, you will probably know what will happen in the future. So history will continue to repeat itself. So because we don't normally learn from history. So President Ouattara has been installed in power by the French armies. He even had his wedding in France. So he failed to, first he tried to stage a coup in Ivory Coast, assisted by the IMF, where he installed himself as president for about 18 months, but successfully. In 1990, he was forced into the cabinet of Ivory Coast by the IMF. That's when they introduced him to the government of the Ivory Coast. The people of Ivory Coast still did not like Ouattara. He is the descendant of the Muslim rulers of Burkina Faso, or that region. The reason this is important is because the white system groomed these people according to their history, what they have done in the past. If they have got a history of aggression against black people in their blood, they preserve them and they go and educate them, those people. If you check President Ramaphosa and President Ruto, they look more alike. You might find they come from the same clan groomed by white people in order to lead at this period. So President Ouattara is a puppet of France. It's impossible for President Ouattara to call for removal of the French armies because France is the one who installed him in power. So it's impossible for him to call for them to go because that's he's only reliant. He only knows that as the way of life or the way to ascend to power. So he's never gonna build. He does not have the balls to be able to stand against France. What is happening in France is now they have staged a withdrawal in Ivory Coast so that the people of Ivory Coast or the young people of Ivory Coast can be confused and think Ouattara is now a Pan-Africanist and re-elect him for another term because he's been president since 2010 and he wants to extend his term to for another 5 years in office. He's been installed by the French armies, literally. The people of Ivory Coast rejected the election. He appointed his own IEC and announced the result in his own house and called for the French armies to come and remove the president. It was just a coup. So it's impossible for such a person to call for the removal of the French armies in his land. All he knows is how to be a spy, how to be a puppet, how to be a robot. He cannot live his life outside being a robot. So it's impossible for him to call for any withdrawal. That's the president of Ivory Coast. The president of Chad, his father has been installed to power by France and sustained in power for more than 40 years by France. And now the young man is now in power, also installed by France after the passing away of his father. So it's impossible for him to, he does not know anything besides the French lifestyle. So he's been installed by the French armies to lead the people of Chad. It's impossible for him to do anything. So all of these are staged withdrawals of French. These are fake withdrawals of French armies in Africa. The only real withdrawal. And if you want to see it's fake, France is still collecting colonial tax from these nations. Ivory Coast have never stopped France from collecting the tax in their land. France, Ivory Coast is still paying colonial tax to. Thank you very much. Some new arrivals there, some arrivals, not necessarily new arrivals. Greetings to my royal brothers and sisters. Class is in session. Class is in session. You are actually a little late there, but well, you are. We can still say you are well in time because class is still in session. So the two withdrawal that I'm talking about, first the Ivory Coast withdrawal of the armies from the French armies withdrawing from the Ivory Coast, it's fake. It's only done to confuse the young people of Ivory Coast so that they don't revolt against Ouattara, because Ouattara has been installed there by the IMF and the Imperial America. So they want him to secure their future there, because now the young people of Africa are rising against them. So they have to put their dogs in place, their robots in place, who are going to try and sustain them in Africa. They are afraid that if they don't install their puppets in these countries, some real leader of the people may rise in Ivory Coast and take over Ivory Coast in the next elections. So they confuse their people, the children. I say to all the misled children of the soil, to all the converted children of the soil, to all the miscultured children of the soil, there is hope. There is hope. The charlatans, the slave traders, and the slave masters are not going alone. It's going to be tough because they're facing the people. The recolonization project, the colonization of Africa, recolonization project, again, the colonization, the neo-colonization of Africa, which is in progress. The retaking of the African resources, whatever was remaining of the African resources, which is currently in progress. Chad, it's a fake withdrawal. It's impossible for the young man to do anything outside France until he is disposed or removed as president of Chad. Chad will not see its freedom. Senegal, actually, the Osman Sonko, who was actually supposed to be president of Senegal, who was the one running for presidency in Senegal, was jailed and banned from running for elections, just like what happened in South Africa with President Zuma. So this strategy, they are implementing it all over Africa or all over the world in order to conduct this coups. So Osman Sonke was uh, prevented from running for presidency and later released. And then his other friend who was actually campaigning with him, President, what is the name of Diomaye Faye, President Faye of Senegal, was put ahead of him. The French has been able to twist things so that they will find favor. They have been able to capture Diomaye Faye and twisted the leadership position, which was supposed to be for uh, President Sonku to Diomaye Faye, who is extending the French relationship or the French stay in the Senegal, who is refusing to stop the colonial tax from France. So when they announced that France is going to move away from, when they say France is going to move away from Senegal, because they have been chased away, I immediately realized that that was fake withdrawal in order to confuse the people of Senegal, to ensure that they keep the hope that somebody is coming to rescue them while they know everybody is captured. So I wanted to discuss that issue about the liberation of the zones which are genuinely liberated from the French colonies still remains to be Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The other zones are fake. The withdrawal does not really exist, is not true. But in discussion, it's about the issue of, I actually predicted that MK party, it's part of my prediction that MK party is going to go through a lot of issues this coming year. 2025 MK party is going to go through a lot of issues. People will be protesting. Protests which will be created by propaganda machines are going to happen. Plants, people who've been planted into the MK party will eventually be suspended. People who trusted in the MK party may end up outside. People who did not believe the part of the MK party will end up in the MK party. In this 2025, as long as the President Zuma is still cooking, let's not disturb his cookings. As long as Floyd Shivambu is still cooking, let's not disturb his cooking. Imagine if you are cooking, then they come out and report, hey, he's put turmeric spice. Now is I don't eat turmeric spice personally, but look at him. in the kitchen is already put turmeric spice, but he's not finished cooking. He may be cooking his first meal. It might happen that he still has to cook 30 other meals, and in the other 30, he will not put the turmeric spice. But you are already reporting that he's putting the turmeric spice. Other people who can't eat the turmeric spice are not gonna be accommodated in this food. We trust Floyd Shivambu as the creator of the ground forces, we can say. We trust his ability to create the ground forces. We also trust President Zuma's intelligence to run the MK party and liberate black people. Who they are suspending, whom they are taking in, should not be our business. Our business should be to make them account when it comes to liberating black people. Our business is not to judge them while they are doing the administration of liberating black people. Our business is to support when they are busy doing the administration of liberation of black people. Our business is not to be fanatics. Our business is not to sell our soul or sell our children or support the enemy. Our business is to wait patiently while we know the people we've deployed in power, the people we've deployed to run the administration of liberating black people from the colonial savage of the Queen, of the British Queen, the colonial or the imperial, the savage imperial rule of the US. When are we gonna relax and watch when the people are and wait for the food to be cooked for us to eat? Let me read the scripture because these days, well, this is before the actual start of the year. So I think it's good that we read the scriptures. These people have come to us with the scriptures. So let's refer to the scriptures, the books that they say we should read. Leviticus, is it Leviticus 26? Sorry. And I will read verse 21. If then you act with hostility towards me, unwilling to obey me, I will increase the plague on you 7 times in accordance with your sins. I will let loose the wild animals of the fields among you, which will bereave you of your children, which will destroy your livestock. If you don't listen to me, among you, I'm going to create beast, which is going to kill your children, When your children try to protest against me, if you say no to me taking over your land, I'm going to to unleash a beast among you who is going to kill your children and who is going to make you pay your sins 7 times. MK will certainly go through significant opposition from left, right, inside, because the vision in the right towards the liberation, the constitution is the culprit. MK will go through quite a lot this year. If we have to trust that the MK party is for the liberation of black people, we need to trust that they will go through hell from the enemies of black people, because those people are well established. They are not playing. They are not small guys who are playing small things. They are bigger people who've got all the machinery you can think of. They own the YouTube that we are talking on now. This platform, they own it. Sometimes when they don't want these videos to be um, distributed, uh, they determine the number of people who are going to watch these videos. Sometimes they make the network blurry. Sometimes they control everything. They have the money to buy the politicians. They have the money to even buy your brothers and sisters. In some instances, they can even buy your parents or your children against you. They have the money to afford to do that. So why would they leave the MK party alone if the MK party is going to give them problems? They will have to ensure that they use all their might in every dimension without following any rules. They are going to use all their might without following any rules. They may even deregister MK party without following any rules, just to agitate black people to go to the street so that they can unleash the beast in the name of Ramaphosa, who has been unleashed against these people, to whenever they can rise, they will be alienated. That's what happened in 2021. 400 people were killed. It's not a small number. 400 is not a small number. We can only say it's a small number when we refer to black people. If it was white, 400 is not a small number. Killed. They say died. I say killed. When they report, they say 400 people died. No, 400 people were killed. That's what happened. When people try to rise against the system, when they try to rise against the arrest of President Zuma, after that, it was neutralized. King Leopold says use the whip against them. Anyone anyone who is refusing to convert, use the whip to convert them. So they are ready to, they have already unleashed the beast. Ruto is a beast in the Kenya. Tinubu is a beast in the Nigeria. Ramaphosa is the beast in South Africa, which have been unleashed by the enemy of black people to come among you to reduce the population of black people. They don't mind reducing the population of black people through guns or through chemicals or through whatever means that they can use to reduce your population. They don't mind, and nothing will happen. That's why President Zuma says no to going to the streets, because he knows exactly what's going to happen. But this they will not allow. They will want to agitate people to, they want to push people to the ultimate to ensure that at the end of the day, people will go to the streets and they are going to unleash their terror on people. After a month, everything will settle down. After everything is settled down, we will continue under the new rules, probably even worse rules than before the rise of the struggle. These people are not playing. Believe it or not, these people are not playing. President of Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim Traore, has raised about $232 million USD from his people, from his own people, to run particular projects in his country. $240 million contributed by his own people, not by the IMF, contributed by his own people. He's going to give bonds to his own people, and his own people are going to get profit from the investment that his country is making. When are we going to have president? When are we going to have people who are brave? When are we going to have black people who are brave to act like President Ibrahim Traore is doing now? Changing the rules, changing how the money is being made, beneficiating. He came up with a law that everybody who is mining gold in Burkina Faso has to process it in Burkina Faso. It means they have to close their factories in Europe to come and work in Africa, because if all the African countries says they must close their factories in Europe to come and work in Africa, then that is a disaster for them. Europe is gone. Lots of factories are going to close, and people are going to rise against them, because they are dependent on us, they are dependent on Africa. The army was deployed in KZN after 2024 elections, ready to unleash the destruction of the MK party. They were very, very ready. They were very ready to kill few thousands. They were very ready and they were willing. If it wasn't for the leadership of President Zuma, many lives would have been destroyed during these elections, after these elections, because people are still angry about the elections. But because of the leadership that President Zuma is providing or has been providing, he's been able to calm young people down and ensure them that he's working uh, on getting justice to what happened about the elections. This year, they are ready to unleash terror on black people in South Africa. The armies of South Africa are ready to unleash terrors. The police are ready to unleash terror on citizens this year. And people will be forced to go to the street by the authorities because they are going to, if people don't go to the street on their own, they are going to fake a revolution in order to diffuse this issue, because a real revolution is coming. Now they need a way to diffuse it. This is not for the first time that a revolution came and they were able to diffuse it. In the 60s, a revolution came and they were able to diffuse it and still lead up until today and still keep the colonies. If Africans are not united about this, they will still be able to diffuse this revolution, and they will be able to take lead again and go on in the next 100 years again, colonizing our children. No chance for the robots to fight against their armies, because the children will be turned into robots. So no chance for the robots to revolt against the white system. My name is Mngoni Mkonto, and this is the Royal Opinion. Today we're talking about the issue which is happening in the MK party with some people suspended there. I actually I don't really want to go into details about issues like that because it does not necessarily have any impact on the uh, uh, generally on the struggle of black people to liberate themselves. The administration issues that are happening at the MK party has got no real impact in the overall liberation of black people. So we should leave the administration of the organization to the trusted politicians that we've put in place. Floyd Shivambu has been deployed, and Floyd Shivambu can be trusted by the people because of his experience and because of his past result. Floyd Shivambu has been able to build the EFF from scratch, and he also managed to build a student organization. The student command of the EFF was started by Floyd Shivambu and built by Floyd Shivambu. So he is capable of building. We have to give them a chance to lead. King Victor says they eliminated Chris Hani, Robert Sobukwe, Solomon Mashango. Now they are gunning for Msholos. They will, if we don't protect him, he's going to be eliminated. He's going to be part of the list. They are really gunning for him. They want to eliminate him. They want to take him out by all means because is their biggest headache. Is their only problem at the moment that they are facing in South Africa. So they have to, by all means, fight against him. So they want to eliminate him. They really want to eliminate Msholos. Before, maybe before we close, I wanted to remark about, I hear a lot or I see a lot of people. Chris Hani, Robert Sobukwe, and Solomon Mahlangu. The people they eliminated, like Robert Sobukwe, the leader of black people, the real leader of black people, the people that they decided to keep are the people who have been agreeing with their mission. They have told us clearly what they are going to do with the people who are not agreeing to what they want to do with us. We should believe them because this is what they have been doing to us all along. If we did not believe them, I think it's time that we should start believing. I wanted to comment about, just to make a remark about many people, I see a lot of people going to Dubai to enjoy their good times, to enjoy their holidays from Africa or from South Africa. Lots of black people uh, who are going to Dubai for entertainment. I just wanted to remark that I think we should evaluate our mission as the generation which has to liberate itself from colonialism. President Traore says Dubai is a desert full of dust. There's no gold. But Dubai is known as the city of gold. 90% of the gold which is in Dubai is a gold which is smuggled from African countries. It's a gold which comes from the Zamazamas, the people who are being killed in the mines here in South Africa, in many mines across African continent. These are the markets which are feeding into these countries, the Dubais and the North and the South Koreans, the Europeans and the Americans, exploiting African resources and African people, where they're taking minerals without paying for tax, without paying for labor, or without paying for licenses, or for anything needed to pay when they are mining. without taking care of the safety of the people. They are able to smuggle gold into those cities. These are the cities where black people go to enjoy themselves. I think we need to, as black people, evaluate what is our mission. The mission of this generation. We need to define the mission of this generation. Because I think the mission of this generation is to create, is not to dismantle, is to gather, not to spend, is to restore, not to deplete. I think this is the mission that we should give to this generation if we want to restore Africa for what it was. The mission of Africa should be redefined. The mission of the individual people should be redefined. I think we've got a lot of gaps among our communities, among ourselves, that we can actually focus on making sure that we close those gaps rather than going to spend the little that we've managed to gather back to the people who have invaded us. The Europeans, the Christians and the Muslims, the Europeans and the Asians, the Christians and the Muslims have not come to Africa to give, have come from to Africa to take. I'm not against people entertaining themselves. You know, there's this attitude that black people have to say that it's okay even when children are drinking alcohol, as long as they are having good time. That kind of attitude, as long as they are having good time, it's okay even when children are drinking alcohol. It's not okay. We need to redefine our mission. It's not okay that we've got so much gaps that we need to fill in our own families or even in our own companies. But whenever we generate any amount, we want to go and spend that amount exactly from the uh, to the slave masters, to give back the money to the slave masters. I always tell my brothers, that's Mfana Mlauli says, I always tell my brothers that I will never visit Dubai. They're just causing havoc in mainly Africa. We black people have a lot to learn. No, we still have a lot to learn. Africa is more beautiful than the desert, than the desert. Dubai. Dubai is just a desert. The reason they're branding it as a city of gold, while they don't even have the gold, it's because it's a fake city. Joburg, it's a real city of gold because there's gold there. Pilgrim Rest, it's a real city of gold because there's gold there. So these are fake kind of golden cities built from stealing from Africans. But Africans themselves go and uh, bless or increase the wealth of the people who are stealing from them. Go and help them create more. I think we need to really redefine, because you can't really, what do you want unless I mean in a desert. You are from the milk of the land of milk and honey, the land where you find every food you want in the forest to sustain you. Without you planting anything, you can live in Africa. Africans must recognize the value of self preservation.
What would you like to know about Percy stickers?
Africans must recognize the values of self preservation as exemplified through Orania. It's very, very, very important. The white people building Orania is very, very important. Black people don't care. That's why they go and fight about, or they celebrate the Bella Bill, which says they can, which bless them to go and learn Afrikaans instead of building their own schools, which will help them, their children, to learn their own languages and cultures. They are celebrating when the bill allows them to take their children to go and learn Afrikaans. Black parents to destroy their own on behalf of the white, to donate with their children to the monster. That's what is happening. So I think the generation of this generation should find its mission and work towards achieving that mission. I think our mission is to gather, not to deplete. Our mission is to increase, not to decrease. Our mission is to plant, not to harvest. The coming generations are the ones who are going to harvest. We should focus on planting. If we focus on planting and harvesting at the same time, we may not make it on planting for the future. We may spend all our strength harvesting, forgetting to plant for the future. If you go and spend, if you take, let's say you take 100,000 to Dubai, you take, even maybe you take your children, you take 100,000, you buy a flight ticket to go with your children to Dubai. with your 2 children and your and your one wife, you go to Dubai, normally with money that they don't know how you've made it. And then when you come back, when you passed away, they don't even know how to generate that money. The only thing they can say is, we once went to Dubai. But if you take that money and buy some cattle or some goats for them, that would immediately the following year start giving profit for them, for your children. If you go and buy land, they may start planting immediately in the following year. But if you go and take the money and spend it in Dubai, it will only be in the psychology that we once went to Dubai, but it will have nothing to do with reality. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. Uh, we are going to end the session. Click the like button and subscribe if you are coming here for the first time. We're going to end this live session. Let's enjoy our Gregorian calendar and our Gregorian or slave time. Thank you very much.